Today we're going to take a look at graphite drawing techniques. You're going to need a pencil, a kneaded eraser, a rubber eraser, and a blending stump. We're going to be looking at drawing spheres, and we're going to start off with hatching and cross-hatching. And hatching and cross-hatching is probably one of the most basic drawing techniques there is, and it works well with graphite just like it does with pen and ink or colored pencils or any other drawing medium. Hatching and cross-hatching basically involves placing lines over top of each other. The more they cross over, the darker the value, thus creating the illusion of the form. The next technique we're going to talk about is blending. And blending can be done in a variety of ways. I'm going to show you a couple ways here. First of all, you can just adjust the amount of pressure that you put on the graphite. By putting more pressure, you're going to create darker values, thus creating the illusion of the form, like I'm doing here. And a lot of my drawings that I create, I actually just adjust the amount of pressure put on the end of the graphite, or the end of the pencil in this case, and that creates the illusion of form. A lot of people are tempted to smear the graphite, and some people smear with their fingers, but that doesn't really make sense because your finger is much bigger than the end of your pencil, so it makes sense to use a blending stump for this. Also, your fingers have oils in them, and they mix with the graphite and create kind of a paint, so you have less control. It kind of looks messy, but with a blending stump you have control. So there's blending. The next technique we're going to take a look at is called rendering. And rendering is basically where you use an eraser to do a lot of the drawing. So I'm going to put a little bit of value down first with the graphite. Then I'll take the blending stump and blend that together a little bit to give me a smoother surface to erase. And then I'm going to use a kneaded eraser as well as a pink pearl rubber eraser to begin erasing. Now the great thing about a kneaded eraser is you can control the end and make it really pointy if you want, or make it kind of fat. And I'm just going to draw in the highlighted area first with the eraser. And you can still use the graphite to draw. There's no rule that says you have to only erase when you're creating a rendering. So it's kind of a back and forth between using the eraser and using the graphite to create the illusion of the form. A little bit with pink pearl there. And we can darken up around the edges, and that's rendering. The next technique we're going to talk about is using squiggly lines, and it doesn't really have to just be squiggly lines. It can be more random lines if you want. I like the uniform quality of using the squiggly lines though. And it's the same principle, basically. Wherever the value is darker, the more the squiggly lines cross over each other. And the lighter the value, the less they cross over each other, thus creating the illusion of form. The last technique we're going to talk about is cross contour lines. Cross contour lines are similar to hatching, except they're not parallel lines. Instead, they follow the cross contours of the form, thus creating more of the illusion of the form. And you can kind of compare that to the first one we did with hatching and cross hatching here with the cross contour lines. So these are a few graphite drawing techniques. They're pretty much endless. So I hope these help you out.